my presentation. I hope my audio is clear and the slide is visible.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Yes, thank you. So welcome all. So my name is Sankaash B. I'm a law of attraction teacher, life coach, a habit coach. I like to specially coach for kids and teens, and I'm a holistic healer as well. If I want to give a brief introduction about myself and my journey, just like how this graph is being wavy, my journey so far was actually wavy equally like this. So before I tell more about my what I understood from genetic brain profiling and how it actually changed my life, I would like to take you all through a journey of what I have been through and what actually made me arrive at this point. So when I was 13, my mother was going through severe knee issues. She was having a lot of knee pain and she went through a fracture and she was constantly looking forward to heal herself through different kinds of medicines. But as she couldn't actually heal her entire knee through medicines, she got introduced to pranic healing. So when I was 13 years old, pranic healing opened up so many different perspectives for me to understand life. And I got introduced to energy healing, pranic healing, and my spiritual awakening and self-awakening began when I was 13. And I just didn't pursue pranic healing as a passion, but I started doing healings when I was 13. I was one of the youngest participants in all the workshops. Then, when I was 16, I was never great at studies as such. I was always figuring out what I can do, what I can really do so that I can prove myself. I can prove that I'm good. I wanted to basically prove my father that I can be really successful in by doing things what I really like to do. So that led me towards my passion for music. When I was 16, I started learning DJing and I started performing as a DJ when I was 17. Music was more than performance, it was more of an expression of my freedom. What I felt is what I communicated with my music and I got this when I was 16. Yes. So as I told you earlier, I tried so many things before I got understanding of who I really am through genetic brain profiling. At 18, I became a certified law of attraction teacher and a life coach. I started helping others understand the power of their thoughts and emotions. So when I got introduced to pranic healing and Eastern way of spirituality at a young age of 13, it gave me a lot of answers, but parallelly it led me through a lot of questions. It gave me a lot of questions. Why my life is like this? Why am I creating the reality the way it is today? How can I really change it? And are things really in my control, or is it some past karma which is leading me to this experience today? Is the question which so strongly stayed inside me. And when I got introduced to law of attraction through one of my mentors, it completely changed the perspective of how I looked at karma, how I looked at life, how I looked at creation and everything. And as I was always interested in teaching, I thought this will be a great opportunity for me to be a teacher. I became a teacher of law of attraction when I was 18, and I conducted my first workshop successfully with 22 participants. Next is, and it stop here. See what all my X1 can do. If you actually look at my graph, I'm 90% effective and I have a capital X in my right frontal. So my X, I was never able to like stick to one thing. I constantly moved from one thing to other, one thing to other without getting deep into it. So then parallelly, I felt I can be a great entrepreneur. I can be a good event organizer. When I was performing as a DJ, I thought DJing is actually a small stream of income. I should actually get into event management and that can be great. So I started my own event company. Did a couple of successful shows. I did burn a little bit of my parents' money as well. I learned a lot of lessons. So 18, 19, 20, and 21, it was more of my entrepreneurial journey. I started figuring out myself and what I can really do. I didn't stop there again. I also started a cafe of my own. I started a cafe. It ran successfully for some time, but because of the corona and other issues, I was forced to close the cafe. So I kept on trying, but later on after GBP, I realized as I have a little less energy in my frontal lobes and very high energy in my prefrontal, I always jumped into action without giving much thought on how the action is supposed to be taken, which led me to take all these decisions in my life without actually giving it much thought. So I started a cafe, which actually was a very innovative idea. It ran successfully for a while, but because of lockdown and other complications, we were forced to close this down. When I actually closed my cafe, I went into a state of depression, I can say, because I tried a lot of things. Things were not really working out for me. I was not satisfied. Really wanted to do something great, but I was not able to do. And in between my 21 to 23, I went through a breakdown, which eventually led me through a breakthrough. So when I closed my cafe again, I made my mind that anyways, I'm good at music. Let me start music again. And I started pursuing music full time. I lived in Bangalore for some time. Then I shifted back to Goa. So during this time, I slipped into addictions. I became very miserable. A lot of things were not in my control. I felt very helpless and powerless for most of the time in my life. 2023 September is when I said, I'm going to stop everything, whatever I'm doing. Enough of this life. This is not who I really am. I completely lost the connection with my true self, my true creativity. I was doing music, my career was going decent, but I somewhere felt very lost in 2023 till 2023 September. And 2023 September, I attended a law of attraction retreat and I said, okay, enough is enough, done is done. Now I will dedicate my entire life to transform myself. And let's see what other options life will offer me to be who I really am and do the work which is more in alignment with my true dharma, is what I started figuring out. So it was actually a beautiful journey once I started figuring out who I really am. I started figuring out different modes of spirituality. I got introduced to Vedas, I got introduced to Tantra. And one of the key things which really helped me come out of everything, whatever I was going through, was habit science. So 2023 September is when I started rediscovering myself and rediscovering my purpose. And in the journey, I found myself, I became more calmer, I became more centered, my habits changed, my addictions just left me. I became more disciplined. I started eating healthy. I started exercises. A lot of things happened, and I got introduced to many different modes of spirituality, which has today shaped me who I really am as a person. So that's when I made my mind, if these are the tools and techniques which are helping me to transform myself so effectively, this is what I would like to share with the world. This is what I would like to share with people who are going through contrasts in their life. I always believe without contrasts, we can't step towards clarity. When we know what we don't want is when we actually realize what we do want. So I give this example always. If we actually walk into a buffet, a lunch buffet, there are so many things which we don't like, and there will also be some things which we like. We'll not be cribbing about the things what we don't like. We just choose what we like and we just start serving it on our plate. So far in my journey, I was going through a lot of contrast, which eventually led me towards better clarity. A lot of my clients, a lot of my friends, people who know me, they always ask me, Sankash, what is that you teach? What is that you preach? I'll tell you about that in the next slide, but I would like to specify a few of the movements which actually helped me transform. During the past Navratri, I completely fasted for 9 days just on water. And the fasting process actually helped me build my body, build my willpower, and bring in discipline. And one of the most transforming moments in my life was when I met Kanchi Swamigal, Kanchi Mahaperiyava, and Sri Sri Ravi Shankar. And I also practiced a few sacrifice offering techniques like Homa during the Navratri, which actually transformed me and made me more resilient. And obviously, genetic brain profiling. That's a very cute kid. One of my youngest clients, I did her genetic brain profiling very recently. So I thought this picture will add more meaning here. Then a lot of people always, a lot of people always said, and I also believed in it, that when we actually start practicing or when we actually start following what our true dharma is, nature rewards us. When we start doing things in alignment with our dharma, nature will start rewarding us, and money and success becomes a byproduct. And when I started living my dharma, when I started living a authentic life, sharing and being what I am preaching, like being whatever I'm preaching, practicing whatever I'm teaching, when I started being more authentic with myself, universe opened a lot of opportunities for me. I feel these are the moments which I'm sharing here, the moments where universe rewarded my efforts and said, wow, Sankaash, go ahead, you are doing good. Things started happening, things started working out for me when I started doing things in alignment with my dharma. So a lot of people ask me, Sankash, what do you teach? What do you share in your coaching sessions, in your programs? So I keep it very simple. The same tools that help me find myself are what I share with others to help them break free from their limiting patterns and become the best version of themselves. Whatever the tools which help me to be who I really am today, to bring discipline, to understand myself. The tools which help me are the tools I share with my clients who are seeking their truth as well. So tools I generally use in my coaching program is one of the main things is genetic brain profiling, habit science, law of attraction, energy healing, techniques from Vedas and Tantra, blood type based nutrition, movement and resistance based exercise, and some techniques and understanding from neuroscience as well. So this is a brief about my journey. Now you all can ask me, let's come to the main point. How did genetic brain profiling help me? What did genetic brain profiling bring into my life, which made me so stable? So I'll not go so much in detail, but the 3 points which really genetic brain profiling helped me was one, I stopped jumping. I realized I have an X in my frontal. I always jump into action without giving much thought to the process, without giving much thought to the planning. So I stopped jumping from one thing to other. So far, if you have seen my slides, you know how much I jump from one thing to other, one thing to other, and one thing to other. The main thing what I did after understanding my GBP is I stopped jumping. Clarity on my core strengths. I discovered, I always believe everyone who is born on this planet, they have some great strengths, some or the other strengths in their life. And there are also some weaknesses. So I feel when we understand our strengths and exercise more of our strengths, we start living our life according to our dharma. And parallelly, just focusing on the strengths are not enough. We should become aware of our weak parts and we should also start exercising those parts. So we become a whole. We become a person who is a whole person. The wholeness, the holistic nature starts manifesting when we also start working on the points which we are actually supposed to strengthen. So my core strengths, I started understanding what my core strengths and talents are. I started using them with intention and things started changing. Growth through awareness. So I also worked on the weak points, which I understood through genetic brain profiling, and that gave me a lot of strength and courage to proceed further in my journey. So this is about my genetic memory and rehearsal. I feel genetic brain profiling is so accurate. So even if I go back to the memories in my past, my episodic memory is so low, I'll not be able to recollect the exact incidents. Like if I go back to my childhood, or if I go back to my school memories, most of the memories I just can't recollect because of my episodic memory. uh, that makes genetic brain profiling so accurate. I started working on these things as well. I understood about my memory, I understood about my rehearsal, I understood what my real skills are through genetic brain profiling. Then I understood where exactly my strength lies in. That to understand my strength, I think multiple intelligence profile really I'll say multiple intelligence profile helped me to understand my core strengths. I understood I am very high in nature, so I'm very observatory in nature. My word is smart, so whatever I'm thinking in my head, my articulation is good. I'm able to articulate my thoughts better, and my logic is also good. Then, because of my affective personality, what I had, I didn't actually work much on the people skills, but in the process, I learned it. And eventually, when my mentor Vinodini ma'am pointed that you should also start working on your body, that was the time I actually started working on my body as well. So working on my body gave me a lot of more strengths. Then my cosmic intelligence is one of the highest, as I recognized. I started exercising more of that, and even without me exercising that, the choices I made in my life was mostly based on my cosmic intelligence. I did it with an intention of helping others always. And if you come to my learning domains, MI-based learning domains, I have a reasonable IQ, the EQ, which I eventually started exercising because I didn't actually focus on it and started exercising, but because thanks to my affective lobes, it made me exercise, made the exercises much more easier, and it just happened by itself. My AQ, my CQ, and SQ. So one thing what I realized is because of the A1 what I had, a lot of people initially also suggested me a few paths, like told me what to do, what not to do. Unless and until I realized where my problem really is, I never changed it. But once I started realizing, the moment I realized what my problem is, I started working on it so effectively. And all thanks to my affective loops, it gave me that ease for me to get over the patterns which were not supporting and helping me. And also started working on the patterns which started being in alignment with who I really want to be, thanks to my affective loops. Then, if you look at my genetic disc model, genetic behavior style, so disc model, I have a balance of both dominance and influence. I was able to recognize that, and I started exercising more of that, and I started taking decisions according to what I realized from my disc model. Then, if you come to my genetic behavior profile, if you look at my persistence and sensitivity, I'm more of a sensitive person. Self-confidence and thoughtfulness, I would like to just be more self-confident and not much thoughtful. But I slowly started exercising that part as well, and I started feeling so good after that. I started making more practical, more analytical, and more proper decisions after that. If you look at my self motivation and patience, I always wanted things to happen very fast. So with that hurry, that the hurriness kind of pushed me to take wrong steps in my life. But after genetic brain profiling, I started realizing that, and I slowly developed a little bit of patience in my life. I developed a little bit of consistency, and that started reflecting very well. Then independence and friendliness, I would like to be more independent, do things on my own. Then eventually, as I have affective lobes, I was equally friendly. It was not like I was more independent, not being friendly. Efficiency and enthusiasm, uh, yeah, friendliness and efficiency, sorry. Friendliness and efficiency, I was focusing more on the efficiency than the friendliness. But as I was more of an effective person, my friendliness automatically changed and improved over time. Enthusiasm and accuracy, as you can see. Then when it comes to my realistic model, realistic, investigative, artistic, social, and enterprising, conventional, I'm more of an investigative person. So whatever you give me, I would like to go to the depth of it before I start sharing. So here I would like to take the opportunity to thank Vinodini ma'am, because since I have started taking reports, Vinodini ma'am, at least 90% of the days, she have every day spent at least 1 to 2 hours with me, helping me understand what genetic brain profiling is, how to decode the reports and everything. So I'm so grateful to Vinodini ma'am. When it comes to my investigative strengths, I would like to go to the depth of the things before I start sharing with people. And that's one thing I realized, and I understood that's one of the greatest quality. Then what else I can share here? Yeah, my harmony index, I slowly started working on it. I started doing more of meditation. I started doing more of physical exercises and also mindfulness practices, which kept me comfortable and happy in my own skin. Yeah, basically, as I don't have much time, I want to move ahead with my parents' profile as well. So this is what I really understood from my genetic brain profiling as a self experience. And this gave me a great platform to understand who I really am as a person, and to proceed with confidence. As everybody says, like, genetic brain profiling became an authentic tool to understand who I really am as a person. And right now, even for the clients whom I reach out to, or clients who reach out to me, I make sure genetic brain profiling is the first thing I insist them to do. Once I understand their brain, their personality, then according to their personality, I I create a very niche program which will start helping them so effectively. The results are great. So I would like to take this opportunity to share one of my experience with my clients very recently. So I recently came across a client who is also a very good friend of mine. So she was struggling with addiction from past 10 years. Once I got her genetic brain profiling reports, understood reports, then I understood how she is processing information, what is her personality type. According to all this information, what I found in genetic brain profiling, I weaved a perfect de-addiction program for her, and it's been about 2.5 weeks. She haven't got back to her addiction. The results were so great. She was in addiction for about 10 years in her life, and 2.5 weeks, she's just out of it. So all thanks to genetic brain profiling for making things so easy, and for taking things in such depth. So next profile I would like to explain is of my mother. My mother is Sita Lakshmi. So she's a high school teacher. She is one of the senior pranic healing trainers. She's a multitasker. She's an amazing mother. When a lot of people gave up hope on me, she was the one who stood very firmly with me and said, no, he's going to get back on his feet. He's going to get back in such a way that everyone will be amazed. And that happened. So I'm very much grateful for my mother. She teaches science and maths. She's a 9 to 5 worker. So some points what I understood from my mother's genetic brain profiling is, if you look at her brain, she's more of a right brainer, very strong right brainer. Her right temporal and her right frontal are equally strong, making her emotionally intelligent and mentally resilient. If you see how emotional my mother is, if you have a small conversation with her, she takes everything emotionally. Everything is just emotion for her. Logic is something secondary or tertiary what she goes, but everything, every decision what she makes is on the foundation of her emotion. So very others centered. As a right brainer, she naturally lives her life for others and values relationships very deeply, very innocent, very pure. A strong right temporal also brings a sense of simplicity and nativity in her approach to life. She has this very strong nativity which says that, hey, he's my son, hey, he's my husband, this is my nation. Like, she has a great sense of nativity, which genetic brain profiling also says about her. And she is very creative in her expression. With a strong right occipital, she loves beauty, colors, and enjoys creating art. She never perceived art as a profession, but the rangoli is what she draws. It's one of the beautiful things. So her creative expression also we can understand looking at her right occipital. So her multiple intelligence profile. So one thing what I understood and how my mother really is she's very deeply selfless, prioritize others over herself. Low self-intelligence affects understanding of her own emotions. If you give her a priority, if you give her an option telling that this is you, this is others, whom you would like to prioritize first. She is the person who prioritizes others first. So for her entire life, she have lived her life for others. In her early life, she lived her life for her parents and her younger siblings. And after getting married, she lived her life for her in-laws and my father. Then later stages, she started living her life for us, children. So very deeply selfless person. But in this journey, somewhere she loses herself as well. As she does everything to others, she sometimes struggles to understand what is that she really needs. And she needs to start taking care of herself. While she is so focused on taking care of others, she forgets to take care of herself. After genetic brain profiling, I sat with her, I helped her understand what she should be doing, and now she is able to prioritize herself over others to a degree, not fully. So, a very spiritually well connected person, strong cosmic intelligence and natural affinity for spirituality. So, she's a very great multitasker. She starts her day somewhere around 6 o'clock in the morning, and her day doesn't even end even at 12 a.m. or 1 a.m. So once she comes back from her work, she sits down, she do healing sessions, she conducts workshop and a lot of things. Uh, Very good multitasker as well. She's very well balanced. If you look at her MI, almost all the areas are little balanced. So, irrespective of whatever happens around her or with her, she somehow finds a way to get back at work, get back to work and start doing things. Very well balanced person. Word smart, she has a very high ability to articulate her words. Now, if I look at my genetic brain profiling, which is 90% effective, all the A1s and X1 in the frontal, I feel all the A1s I have got from my mother only. God was like, okay, we'll make him all emotional, but with a little twist. Let me put a capital X. That's how I feel God created me. Very good word smartness and very good EQ awareness, very good emotional quotient. Even though emotional quotient seems a little low, I think it's because of it appears lower because she's not able to focus much on herself. But when it comes to emotional intelligence and understanding people, she's such an emotional person. I have never met an emotional person except my mother. So when we come to her disc and Riasic insights, highly steady and nurturing, her steadiness makes her an excellent caregiver and a teacher, naturally supportive and reliable, very goal focused and adaptive, balances multiple roles. As I said, she is such a good multitasker. She balances her life, her family, her school, her job, and on top of that, she conducts healing sessions. On top of that, she conducts workshops. So very good multitasking ability, very adaptive. She's very good at balancing multiple roles. And she's a very creative and a social teacher. I have seen my mother teaching and I have also been a part of the workshops what she conducts. She always finds very creative and relatable ways to teach children and all her students as well. Like not just the students in school, but also all the participants who come to learn healing from her. She teaches with such good examples. She's seamless with that. Selflessness and boundaries. As I said earlier, she struggles to have boundaries for herself. She adapts to things so much, she somewhere tends to lose her own personality during the process of adapting to things. Perspective and a multi-talented person. Perceptive and a multi-talented person. Affective and left occipital triads support strong perception, multitasking, and excellence in teaching academics and guiding others spiritually. That is also seen in her graph, and that is what she is doing. So her MGBI and MGTI insights, very high neuroplasticity, can learn, unlearn, and relearn things quickly, which gives her great adaptability, but also makes her prone to losing herself, as I said earlier. ESFP personality, very energetic, caring, resourceful, and hands on, embodies a don't worry, be happy attitude. No matter whatever the contrast she goes through, she just finds a way to just get to work, get back to work, and start living happily. Very enthusiastic performer, thrives on excitement, enjoys engaging experiences, and brings energy to every task what she does. Very people oriented person. She likes to be around people, help people. Very adaptable and engaged. Quickly adjust to new situation. No matter whatever the situations happens around her, she just quickly adapts, adjusts herself accordingly, and starts behaving. Starts living her life according to the new scenario. Very enthusiastic. She has been one of the great inspirations in my life, looking at her multitasking ability and the way she speaks with people and deals with her clients. So this is what I understood a little about my mother through GBP. Now, coming back to my father. So my father, his name is Dr. N. Sriranga. He is having a PhD in Hindi, a very resourceful person. His thesis got an international standard award. I read the textbooks which were written by my own dad. Very disciplined person. D3 A1, A1 A1, A1 A1, A3 C3, A1 A1. So what did I understand about my dad after getting GBP? So one thing is, he's a very confident communicator. Strong temporals and prefrontals make him articulate and persuasive in discussions. So I have seen my dad participating in debates. I have seen my dad like conducting a 8 hour, 10 hour, or 12 hours, like entire day where he's speaking on Hindi grammar. So very confident and a strong communicator. He has that personality when he goes on stage. So very good language and teaching expertise. A3C3 in the temporals supports exceptional language skills. And he also has a PhD in Hindi, as I said, which highlights his mastery in language. Very forward thinking and a visionary. Fast left brain processing helps him anticipate, plan ahead, and do innovative at work. Very highly efficient, delivers work with precision and excellence, earning respect for his competence. The only thing I saw in my dad is whenever he expressed something for work, whenever he did something as work, he did it exceptionally well. So the only problem what teachers had when they heard him teach is they were not able to understand the profound words he was using while he was teaching them. So that's how efficient he is, and that's how his language articulating abilities are very good. Hindi ability and Kannada abilities. Very growth oriented, I can say. Thoughtful about actions when it comes to profession and growth. He always thought so clearly, planned things so well. Then he started executing things in when it came to his work. So MI profile of my father, he's very logical and he's very good at articulating things. High logic and word smart makes him an excellent thinker and a communicator, able to lead and guide others effectively. He was teaching Hindi to teachers who were teaching Hindi. So you can understand how good his teaching abilities are. Second. Spoke about this already. Disc insights of my father. Very natural leader, high dominance helps him take charge and drive tasks to completion. So he took all the interesting, challenging work, maybe like writing a textbook, maybe setting up the question paper for SLC exams and everything. He did it very well. A very natural leader, very focused and independent, prefers indoor work and enjoys working autonomously, relying on strong self motivation. He never appreciated working with people around him because he always felt nobody could match his level of intelligence. But whatever he delivered it very well. And he's a very dedicated educator. He combines leadership with teaching and guiding others effectively. So once he came back from his school, a lot of Hindi teachers used to come home just to learn about the classes what they're supposed to conduct in their school and everything. So very dedicated educator, highly efficient. So delivers work with precision and speed, ensuring quality outcomes. His only focus was quality. He always focused on quality. Decisive and goal oriented. While patience may be a little moderate, I always remember my father being angry during my childhood. So patience was not really his strongest virtue, but his patience was moderate, but he was great at things except the family side. His focus on results and moving things forward efficiently made him great at his profession. Then RIASEC and MGBI and MGTI insights. So very investigative in nature. I always used to tell my father with a level of investigation and the level of articulation what he has for words. I always used to like tease him like you should have been a lawyer, you shouldn't have been a teacher. So very good investigative. Then what else I can share here? His harmony index is also good, and his spiritual quotient is also good. He's very generous and spiritually aligned, as his cosmic intelligence is high. I don't think I spoke about the MI profile. I think I missed it. I'm very sorry. I'll just get back to his MI profile. So when we come to his MI profile, very logical and articulative, as I said, and he is very highly observant and responsible. So how we can say observant is very strong nature smartness, helps him notice details and take practical actions such as conserving resources. So he always did great resource management when it came to work, and he is very observant when he went to deliver something. One of the things what he was very particular about was how the how everything is placed, like how the aesthetics are, how the presentation desk is, how everything is. So as he is very observant, he was very particular about the things when he went to present, when he went for his presentations. He is very generous and spiritually aligned, looking at his cosmic, like which is represented by his cosmic intelligence. High spiritual intelligence, he was always contributing by giving donations to spiritual organization or like old age homes and everything. I have seen him doing like big amount of donations. So even recently when he got his retirement, he took a major fund and he donated it to some old age home. So that we can very clearly see from his SQ and cosmic intelligence. So the growth opportunities where I see for my father is while EQ and people smart may be lower, awareness of this helps him continue learning to better understand and balance relationships. So what usually happened is with his high logic and word, he always struggled to maintain relationships when it came to family. Maybe he used to use some sharp words or harsh words at times, which actually affected people. So that's one area of growth which I found for him, and I have shared this with him as well. He's also working on it. So yeah, what else I can share about him here is, yeah, his harmony index is good, but he also started working on it. Now he does regular walking, he does a little bit of meditation just to calm himself down. Very investigative in nature. So yeah, I think that's all I have to say here. Hope I have finished it on time. I was always conscious that I might take more time to finish. Good. So thank you all for listening to my presentation so calmly, and special thanks to Ratina Swami sir. Without him giving me a push to learn genetic brain profiling, I never would have explored this side of understanding of oneself. Thanks to Vijayalakshmi ma'am. When I first spoke to Vijayalakshmi ma'am addressed me as Kanna. So I felt everyone in MiDNA is like my extended family, and special thanks to Vinodini ma'am. Since the day I started taking graphs, as I said, she have every day spent at least 1 to 2 hours with me, helping me understand genetic brain profiling. I feel she has become a very integral part of my life right now, and I'm so grateful. Without her being the part, I wouldn't have learned so much about genetic brain profiling. Just because of little time constraint, I was conscious, so I couldn't express whatever I knew and understood from the reports. But thank you all for being such kind audience, and thank you Ratina Swami sir, thank you Vijay Lakshmi ma'am, and thank you Vinodini ma'am. Genetic brain profiling has not just helped me, but it is still continuing to help a lot of people who are connected with me, and they are finding great answers through this. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. I'm very grateful. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Sankaash. Obviously, 2 sessions, both of you have an excellent articulating ability. I think time has become a little bit of constraint. Nevertheless, it is only 1.0 and a lot of learning from your personal life and that you have gone through. I'm happy that you came to us for some solution or some problem. And I don't know, I strongly believe in the universe that will bring to people at the right time for the right reason.
Yes,
So
sir.
I'm happy that you joined and you have given a wonderful DDS 1.0 and very, very motivating to see your, though you look very young, but you it looks like you have lived a life of 40, 50 years already because of
Yeah.
your early exploration of the spiritual paths and the challenges that you have gone through. I think,
All thanks to my ex.
yeah, yes. And it's nice to learn from you that the jumping was the reason for all the that jumping was a boon and the bane. And I
Yes, sir.
think the frustration in the academics has pushed you to so many other domains, and you have done excellently well there. But I
Yes,
guess
sir.
you are now healing people. So with
Yeah.
genetic brain profiling, your healing will become even more profound and impactful. All the very
Sure,
best
sir.
for your further journey. Thank you very much, Sankash. Yeah,
Thank you, sir.
yeah. Anyone else would like to give a feedback? Please go ahead.
Please forgive me if I have made any
No,
mistakes during
there is
my
nothing. Yeah,
presentation.
you are only sharing your personal experience. So we openly receive all of them.
Congratulations,
Thank you,
Sankash.
sir. Thank you, ma'am.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
It was an excellent presentation. The
Thank
flow
you.
of words was superb, and everything came from your heart. It was very good to listen, actually. It was
Thank you,
quite
ma'am.
interesting to know your journey also. The
Thank you,
true
ma'am.
self-discovery has happened in your case. I know you're going to transform many lives in your journey through GBP. Expecting 2.0 to happen very soon.
Yes,
Congratulations
ma'am.
once again.
Eagerly looking forward. Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you, Vijay.
Thank you.
Sir, shall I?
Yeah, please.
Good evening, everyone. Sankash, really, it's a wonderful presentation. I was
Thank you,
really
ma'am.
curious to listen to your presentation because Vijay ma'am was from yesterday was telling me that don't miss Sankash self discovery. There is so much
So
to learn.
sweet.
Really, there is so much to learn. And I just curious to wanted to know that you said that whatever you learned, whatever helped you to improve yourself, that you are applying. Is it
Yes.
uh, applicable to each and everyone? Because sometimes I feel in my therapy sessions that whatever I am feeling that it's comfortable for me, sometimes it's not comfortable for others. So that
Yes.
part definitely will be traveling. So I will learn that from you also. So don't
So
forget
great, ma'am.
to tell me about that.
I'll be
And
very
just
happy to share in touch.
yeah,
Be in touch
thank
with you.
you.
But
So
answering the question what you asked, I feel I feel whatever I have learned so far in my life journey is like a formula. It's like if I apply a plus b whole square, it works the same way, like a square plus 2ab plus b square. If somebody else is applying the same formula, like it is working the same for them as well. But here, it didn't work exactly the way it worked for me, for everyone, but it did do its job. But once I've started understanding people's psyche and their personality type through genetic brain profiling, I'm able to craft more tailored programs for their self-development and growth.
Yes. Right.
Yes.
Yeah, right. Now I can.
Yes.
Okay.
I'll not be sharing everything, whatever I have learned, obviously, but in bits and pieces, what according to what the contrasting experience, what they are going through, I do share some techniques and tools, but I make sure before I share something with others, I make sure that I have experienced it myself firsthand. And so that I can give them a very comforting statement telling that this has worked for me, and I'm sure if you do this, it will work the same for you as well. This is how I work. Thank you,
Okay.
ma'am.
All the very best, Sankaash.
Thank
And
you.
I
Thank
just
you, ma'am.
wanted to wish Logendran sir also, because I was traveling, so I couldn't wish him at that time. Logendran sir, you did very well. The way of understanding your family profile and 100% effective with all balanced disc and all. No, it's really amazing to learn from your session. All the very best for you also, sir.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you.
And
Um,
great
uh,
work, Sankash. And I could
Thank
see
you.
a sense of a movie itself. I could relate your journey of big transitions. It's not
Yes.
just very volatile transitions. Great, nice articulated presentation.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for
Thank you.
thank you,
This
ma'am.
is the first platform where I'm publicly sharing my journey. I always took a step back whenever I spoke about my addictions and my journey. My mother always said, "You do your coaching, don't tell about your addictions to everyone." But I feel whatever I have gone through can be an inspiring point for others to just get over whatever they are going through. Thank you, Midna, for giving me this opportunity to confidently share whatever I understood. And I still feel I even have not even got my feet wet in understanding genetic brain profiling. When I was listening to Lokendran sir's presentation, I'm like, oh my God, this guy is going so technical. What am I going to tell? But I feel there is so much more for me to learn here. I have just got the gist of it, but just by understanding the gist, I am able to reap such benefits. And I'll be very eager to know the depth of it from all of you in the further days. Thank you.
Yeah, Lokendra is often traveling to Bangalore. You can catch him.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes, please.
you can meet him. Yeah, right.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. Anyone else? Right. I think we are running out of time. And before I close, thank you, Lokendran, for such a detailed. I think your presentation was so statistical and so graphical and kind of stuff. I think it's bit in depth for an 1.0, but you are given a hint on what is going to be your 2.0 and your understanding. I
Yes.
think you did make a wonderful learning of your family members, especially your son and spouse. I think this will go a long way. And as we all of us know, it's a lifetime activity and exercise for us. It's not going to be 1 week and 10 days and everything is not going to be normal. And very importantly, I continue to believe if you are effective, learning and unlearning becomes very easier. But the more and more cognitive buttons are there in your UID, you need to be very mindful of not over enthusiastically using it and feeling getting trapped there and finding very difficult to come out. I think genetic brain profiling can proactively make people be very alert and cautious about using their cognitive lobes, because this is what ultimately happened in Mahabharatam also, that Abhimanyu could go easily into the old pattern, but I think to come out he was really clueless. And the message I continue to believe is every cognitive lobe, when you see old pattern, you think of Abhimanyu. I think one will be very careful about getting in is easier, getting out is much difficult, and that is the boon and the bane of cognitive lobes. And one needs to start this sadhana much earlier if you are having a cognitive lobe, so that you are using your patterns for something that will not make you addict, or even if it is an addiction, it is a pleasant addiction, not a unpleasant addiction. I think that's another important lesson that I am continue to say it in the morning sessions. If your cognitive pattern, especially in the sensory lobe, please ensure that you use your patterns for ensuring that you don't fall in the trap of an unpleasant habits and make it a habit that will not make you feel trapped at any point of time. So I thank both of you for giving such a wonderful session. I knew after looking the PowerPoints of both of you, it's going to be a longer session, and but it is worth rewarding. And I think audience are not used to listening to the session for more than an hour. So I do understand about it, but for those who are interested in learning, I think they can watch the YouTube session as well for their learning. I once again thank both of you for keeping us engaged in today's evening. All the very best. Looking forward for the 2.0, both from both, maybe in another 30 days time. Yeah. Right. Take care of yourself.